had the fastest car on the track in the heat race, Waylon Dimmitt. After the redraw, he jumps up to number 1.
Yeah.
So he will be on the pole. Let's get you through the starting grid. You see the Bill Roberts Chevrolet Pace truck slowly starting to inch his way up onto the track into 19 stock cars here for our final race of the evening. And Waylon Dimmitt out of Camden, Missouri. Wide open Waylon will be sitting on the pole. Feature winner here at Lucas Oil Speedway this season, and James McMillan will be on his outside. He's the pilot of the 8M from Warrensburg.
Doug Keller, the Easton, Missouri 7K, inside row number 2. Blake Bolton, Appleton City, Missouri's number 34 on the outside.
Pat Graham won in his last race on August 17th. He's going to try to make it 2 in a row. He will start inside row number 3. And Mason Beck, he won last week in the number 0. Pulling off the double, winning in not only the race but the championship. He will start in 6th.
Part of the Lebanon bloodline, the 7 of William Gardner inside row 4. Mark Simon, the 1X from Buffalo, Missouri on the outside.
Appleton City's Johnny Finnewall starts inside at row number 5, and Darren Phillips to his right hand from Wheatland in the 21.
It is Darrell Hart, the Camden, Missouri 50 on row number 6, and on his outside, it's Dean Willey, the Warrensburg, Missouri 68.
Row 7 has DJ Barnes out of Pleasant Hill, Missouri in the 5 DJ, and Brandon Conkright in the 24C.
Blaine McMillan, his rookie year, the 24M from Warrensburg, Missouri. And on the outside, that's Kevin Simon. Simon from Buffalo, Missouri, the 23.
Craig Wright had to make an early exit in his heat race. He will start inside row 9. James Ellis on his outside. Zach Willis not able to answer the bell. So only 18 cars making their way out.
Man, you know, Waylon Dimmitt on the pole, that's got to be bad for the rest of the field.
Yeah, but the track has changed immensely from whenever they came out earlier on, where he was one of the fastest cars on the track whenever there was plenty of brown and tackiness. Going to be interesting to see how these cars and these stock cars adjust. There's not a whole lot of adjustment. There is some, but not a ton in a stock car. Got to be curious as to what they decide to do, and we see Doug Keller slow on the backstretch.
Comes to a stop, yeah.
I wonder if he has lost power. He's got reverse.
There he goes.
There he goes. Yep.
He may have decided to go to the back of the pack. Nope.
No, why would you do that?
Well,
My goodness. Doug?
Hey,
Doug Keller starting 3rd. You think, let's just go tail back. I want to make it interesting.
You never know.
Well, we talk about wide open Waylon having the shot. Got to think James McMillan has just as much of a shot as he is starting outside road number 1. James won earlier this year, finished 5th in the point standings, had 10 total top 10s. So the man starting outside road number 1, I think he's got a pretty good shot.
Blake Bolton was showing a tremendous amount of speed in his heat race. Kind of interested to see how that 34 does.
And it could be a marquee night for him. He has yet to have a top 5 this year. He's starting in 4th. Bill Roberts Chevrolet Pace truck. Lights have been turned off. He will head back to the pit area. Caution light has been turned off. Mike Striegel has the green flag in hand. He's already spying them over as they're stacked and packed.
Look at the 5 car of DJ Barnes. A lot of smoke off the back of that car on the start.
We'll see if it goes away or if it literally goes away.
Yeah.
That engine may be done if he continues to hot foot it around with that much smoke coming out. But we are under the green flag, and Pat Graham will go up and tag James McMillan. Used him kind of as a buffer. Worked off of him over in turn number 2 to clear his path, and here comes hot damn Pat Graham.
It is the 11 of Waylon Dimmitt. He's going to lead first lap. Pat Graham in that 2nd spot. The 7 of Keller in 3rd as they come around. Now McMillan, James McMillan, the 8 car on the move in that 4th spot as they go through. And Mason Beck, the 0 car, rounds out your top 5.
With a track like this, the big thing you have to keep in mind is, are you going to eat your tires right now if you're turning fast laps and continue to lay on it and don't have a chance to cool them down? Right now, if I'm thinking Waylon Dimmitt is hot chewing it right now, that's where I would have a concern with him, is what's going to happen with the tires as they spin. And Blake Bolton gets crushed by DJ Barnes. We talk about him starting outside row number 2 and possibly having a marquee night tonight. He spins and then gets crunched by DJ. Hobby Time Motorsport Safety Crew, they know it was a hard hit over there in turn number 3. They're quickly going to get out to look at Blake Bolton. He's got his helmet off. They look inside to DJ Barnes as well to make sure he is good to go behind the wheel of the 5DJ.
Heavy.
Lots of damage, but we get the word that drivers are both okay over there in turn number 3.
Heavy damage to that 34 car. You can see that the front of that car is just bent up. Same thing on the 5 car. Damage to the side is almost a T-bone situation as they came around. Bolton nowhere to go.
So through 2 laps, Waylon Dimmitt had already built up a 1.2 second lead. He had cruised out to a very sizable lead in the early going, was not looking back at all, and Pat Graham, well, he sure had his hands full as he was in a side-by-side battle with Doug Keller, and James McMillan got off to a rough start. Pat Graham came up and tagged him in the door panel, shuffled him out of his line. McMillan's been able to salvage a 4th place run through the opening 2 laps, and Mason Beck, we mentioned he had started back in 6th. He and William Gardner were 6th and 7th. And ooh, yeah, there's the damage on Blake Bolton's car. And DJ Barnes, he had absolutely nowhere to go. His car is still parked up on the top side in 3. Again, tomorrow, Lake Lucas will be hopping early in the day. Supposed to be a beautiful weekend for boat racing action over there with the Kentucky Drag Boat Association.
Ran into Barry Saltman just a little bit ago when I was going down to Victory Lane. And, man, I tell you what, they are excited. It's going to be a great weekend. This is their final weekend for the season down here at Lucas Oil Speedway in the Lake Lucas. They're going to have a great weekend. Sunday's show is going to be tremendous for Labor Day.
Obviously, with the front end damage on Blake Bolton's car, a lot of moisture has been put down on the track, so they will dump some dirt out, make sure it is taken care of. And DJ Barnes, I already see the steering wheel off and hanging up on a hook inside the cockpit there for DJ.
He's getting out.
Yep.
Hey, don't forget, tomorrow night we have a concert, 5:30, right here underneath the Foley Equipment flag stand. There will be a concert, 5:30 to 6:30, and the anthem folks will be that gospel quartet will be down there for about an hour. They did an awesome job about 2 years ago. They're going to be back this year.
So DJ's trying to tell the Hobby Time Motorsports Safety Crew, I don't have any steering. Maybe part of that's because the steering wheel's not attached. So they're like, let's just get it pushed to the infield. Well, didn't quite work as expected. They're going to go ahead and have to put him on the hook.
Not quite far enough off the track.
Run right into the bumper, but it's a little on the flimsy side right now, so you're all right with that. Well, not only do we have a show tomorrow, MLRA back in action, but after this weekend for the Ron Jenkins Memorial, and then on Sunday, things will wrap up with the Kentucky Drag Boat Association. We take a week off. Come back on the 14th, 15th, and 16th for the 13th annual Jesse Hawk and Daniel McMillan Memorial, ASCS and War Sprints in action. Power I War Sprints as well. Week after that's the Fall Brawl, where the Hermitage Lumber late models will get to take center stage.
Kind of excited to see that.
I am too. Talking with a couple of drivers down in the pits, about how the late model class here has had a little bit of a resurgence this year. Last few years, early in the year, whenever everyone's budgets are high and you've had a chance to put your parts and pieces back on your car from the year before, you see the car counts somewhat up, but as the year goes along, they start to dwindle. Well, this year has really been the exception. We've had tracks, drivers we don't typically see, having good car counts on a weekly basis, and I think towards the end of the year, knowing that you had to have 4 races to be able to participate in the fall brawl, we really saw some cars come out of the woodworks to be able to qualify for that and make it for the 2-day show. So I'm just like you, I'm extremely excited to see how that all shakes out on September 22nd and 23rd.
Well, not only that, Shane, we not only got a resurgence of late models, we got some very good late models coming in and racing against our regular show. Justin Wells and Larry Ferris, and we normally see week in, week out, the 72 of J.C. Morton doing an incredible job. Some of these guys getting in late models for the first time and doing a great job. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to bring for the fall brawl.
Had 2 laps down, 18 to go. Lights were turned off, and I thought we were ready to go, but Doug Keller back out. Maybe he thought we were taking the green back there on the backstretch. He passed everybody. I don't even think Mike Striegel would have let that one fly.
He was practicing his move. That's what it was. Well, this time yellow light is out. We're going to go green flag racing out of turn number 4. And Waylon Dimmitt, the 11 car, brings them around. It is Pat Graham and Doug Keller, row number 2 right behind him as we come this time.
Into 3 out of 4. Waylon Dimmitt dives down to the middle of the track, doesn't go all the way to the bottom. Pat Graham able to stay within 2 car lengths from him, stays lower on the track. Mason Beck, who started the race in 6th, he's already up to 3rd. Side by side for 5th now, William Garner peeking his nose to the inside of James McMillan. Dean Willey comes up and gives a little love tap to William Gardner before he has to lift off in the 1X, which we have not seen here hardly at all this year. And Mark Simon, he will shoot the gap. He's the middle of the sandwich with McMillan to the outside, and William Garner clipping off his nose as they shoot into turn number 3.
Now up front, it is Waylon Dimmitt, the 11 car, your leader, buddy. It is the one of Pat Graham, the Iowa native, coming around, looks to the inside, but they have company. That's the 0 Mason Beck. Beck has caught the top, or part of the top 3 as they take off from the rest of the class. Doug Keller in that 4th spot. He leads the rest of the back coming that way.
Any of those top 3 cars have the ability to win this. Waylon Dimmitt has been able to do it here at Lucas Oil Speedway. Mason Beck obviously did, since he won the championship, as he now looks to the inside of Pat Graham. Graham will stay in the loud pedal, stays a car length ahead of Mason Beck, but Beck will pull alongside. I'm almost scared to have Pat Graham win this race, because if he gets on the Nutrien Ag Solutions podium after a win and you go down, you 2 Iowa Hawkeyes are probably going to talk for a half hour about, I don't know who won the Iowa State Fair apple making contest, whatever it is.
You got to talk about the butter cow at the Iowa State Fair.
Yeah, I'm sure you no, I'm not going to go there. As Mason Beck to the inside of Pat Graham again, has a nose alongside the door panel, and that will allow Waylon Dimmitt to get out by 4 car lengths.
As they come around, Dimmitt starting to walk away as the battle for that 2nd spot continues. The 0 of Beck, the 1 of Graham, side by side as they come around the track, almost for a full lap as they come through this time. Now starting to gain on Waylon Dimmitt as they come out of turn number 4.
Closing in on the midway point one more time around, and we will see the cross flags. 9 down, 11 to go. Still continues to be Waylon Dimmitt, and a great side-by-side battle. Almost identical cars there, lap time-wise, with Pat Graham and Mason Beck.
Wow, an incredible battle for that 2nd spot, side-by-side. It looks like they try to gain in on Dimmitt. Cannot so far as they battle each other. Dimmitt starts to walk or keeps continuing to get away from him now. It's Graham a little bit, but here comes Mason Beck back.
Comes back, but not by much.
Yep.
Continues to stay door handle to door handle down the front stretch.
Graham gets an advantage as he pulls away, but Graham not very far. Now coming around and now to turn number 2. This time Graham with the advantage, and Mason Beck fights back. It is side by side for that second spot.
So Waylon Dimmitt has built up a 1.5 second lead over Pat Graham. Heard Pat was going to make his way down here this weekend. Trying to get a couple of races out of it, and again, trying to get a test and tune ready for nationals whenever they come up first week in October. He is seeing plenty of track time, and my guess is he's probably not going to see a track this slick whenever nationals come around. Down to 7 to go. Only one lap car may play into this, and that would be the 24 Craig Wright. That's really the only car that I think Waylon Dimmitt might have to navigate, as William Garner in the number 7. He has jumped up to the 4 spot. He is starting to reel in Beck as well as Pat Graham as they continue to battle it out side by side. And that run by Garner has pulled him up to within 2 car lengths. Able to make up the ground in the turns, but once they get to the front stretch and the back stretch, the cars start to pull away from William Garner. Three-car lengths the advantage, but here comes Garner. It's now a 3-car battle for second. Next time by, they'll get the 2 to go sign, where this one's going to be all Waylon Dimmitt out by 2.2 seconds. The battle now is for second. Pat Graham has it. It's side by side with 3rd and 4th with Beck and William Garner. Waylon Dimmitt was able to get around Craig Wright. That was the only lap car that we had concerns about, as they're side by side by side for second. Mason Beck tries to do something different and get to the outside of Pat Graham. White flag has come out. 4 wide with the lap car to the outside. Pat Graham gets shuffled a little bit. Now Beck to the outside. Still continues to be 4 wide. The car to the outside again is lap traffic. Pat Graham has gone from second on the last lap. He is now down to 4th. Waylon Dimmitt, wide open Waylon from Camdenton, Missouri, will win. Mason Beck in second, and at the line, Pat Graham able to edge out William Garner in a great 3-car battle for second.